Welcome to Get Real with Eddie, where we delve deep into the world of real estate with your host, the designated managing broker of Exit Real Estate Specialist, Eddie Rudiger.
Good morning, Nancy. How are you?
I am well. How are you?
I am good. I am just like bouncing off the walls. Do you know why?
Why?
I had such a great time yesterday in Springfield. It was amazing.
It's a good visit in Springfield.
Yes. So for those that don't know, yesterday was what we call our Capital Conference Day. All right. So this is the day a bunch of realtors go down to Springfield and we talk to the legislation, the elected officials, on what policies they're looking at and how it's going to affect real estate.
And it's not just local realtors. It's from everywhere all over the state.
Yes.
Which is cool.
Yeah, it's cool. So it was just such an amazing time. Of course, everybody was commenting on my tennis shoes because for those that don't know, if you've never been to our capital, first off, it's a great one-day trip. Drive down to Springfield, maybe get a hotel for the night. There's some great hotels in the capital. But I, of course, will only wear tennis shoes. I will not wear dress shoes in the Capitol because it's all marble floors.
It's marble floors and you're on your feet all day.
Yes. So I wear sneakers all day long with my suit, to look presentable.
There were a lot of people.
Yes.
I mean, people have caught on to that.
Yes.
That's why they do it in the city.
Yes.
Most people do in the city.
And there's some elected officials I noticed that do it also.
Yes.
I'm not going to call anyone out, but I don't blame them. I mean, as beautiful as the Capitol is, those marble floors are
killer.
Unforgiving.
Are killer.
Yes, they are. But it was a good day. Talked to them about a lot of different situations, and we'll probably get into some of those next week on some bills and some stuff. But I want to talk about this. Last week when we had Chris here, I wanted to talk about this article that I caught that came out on April 20th, and this was in Real Estate. I want to say it was realestate.com or Real Estate News. I think it's Real Estate News.
Okay.
More homes, fewer buyers, even price cuts, how the housing market has changed. And it has changed.
Oh, yeah.
All right. But they're talking about how buyers are more fearful in this market.
Yes.
Okay. So they talked to an agent from RE/MAX, Todd Longan. This past week, I've gotten 2 potential clients who have already put things on hold. I have a feeling there are probably more people out there that are feeling the same way. And there are a lot of people that are putting things on hold.
Yeah.
It's a big aspect of what's going on in this market is the buyers are dropping. The number of buyers in the market, yes, they are going down. It is not a market of 2021.
No. For a multitude of reasons.
Yes. But we looked at the numbers, and the numbers show we are still showing more property than we were in 2019.
In our local market.
Local market. So you have to look at these stories on a local market basis on what is going on with them. So Joe Berner, a senior economist at Realtor.com, says people who are kind of antsy about losing their job and are not going to want to put down hundreds of thousands of dollars on a new home. Absolutely. If you're in a situation where your job is at risk. Now, we're not seeing a massive amount of layoffs nationally, but there are some people that are losing their job.
Yes.
There are some,
and there are some that are
struggling. So I was talking to an agent and said their biggest fear right now is the debt situation for a lot of buyers. That you've got a lot of the debt for the United States has risen for the normal consumer. And that is a valid thing to look at.
You mean overall debt?
Overall debt. Credit card debt specifically.
Yes.
Credit card debt and credit card delinquencies are up.
Yes, and that shows that consumers are as in a are not in as strong as a position as they were
Yes.
financially.
Yes. Now,
Excuse me.
what I don't know is, what is today's data compared to 2019? Because I'm sure we are higher than 2021. I'm sure we are higher than 2022. But I want to know 29. I want that pre-COVID market. Not comparing it to COVID. Pre-COVID.
Yes,
'Cause we're
because
now-
of interest rates,
Yes.
debt and interest rates.
So, I mean, and looking at these aspects, this is just huge. So United Wholesale Mortgage, a lender that offers loans through mortgage brokers, has seen a significant increase in ARMs over the past 3 months, with further growth expected in April. Well, an ARMs doesn't tell me that's a bad market.
No.
That just says, hey, I'm going to take a ARM to get a lower interest rate on the short term and probably refinance this in the next 12 to 18 or 24 months.
They're gambling. They're hoping that they can take that lower rate now, and by then, interest rates will be down. That's the whole point.
The problem is the word ARM is a dirty word from the Great Recession.
Yeah, and it's not. It's a solid way to buy.
The sellers trimming prices. There were about 1.15 million homes in the market in March, up 19%. I don't know where they got that number.
Yeah, I don't either.
Because that is the first time I've seen sales data of that many houses. I have not heard.
I haven't seen anything over 1 million.
I haven't seen anything over 900,000. The closest we saw was 890.
Yeah.
890,000 homes. So, up 19%
According
from
to
last year.
Zillow.
All right. So it's according to Zillow. Up 19% from last year. Guess what? 1 million homes in March is a normal market, people. That's normal.
It's what it should be. Yeah.
There were also more price cuts. No, we had a normal amount of price cuts when you're comparing it to 2019. 24% listings reduced their price. This article is such clickbait. It is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And there are so many people going on YouTube using this data and trying to say the market's about to collapse and the market's about to fail when it's nowhere near that.
Yeah, I don't. They're not talking about the whole picture. They're not talking about. Yeah, this is. Their data. I question their data.
I completely question their antics on this. This is nothing but to get clicks online, and this is a horrible, horrible reporting.
The only thing they say right is where they talk about national numbers don't tell the whole story, noting that housing market trends are hyper local this year. I would agree with that.
Yes, I would agree with that because we are in a very, very heavy seller's market. Maybe not very heavy, but we're in a seller's market.
We're in a solid seller's market.
All right, and not everybody in the country, we talk about it all the time because we know we've got some people that listen outside of our listening area. You know, there's some people that do log in online.
Or they own homes in other areas.
Yep. And they watch us on YouTube.
Yeah.
So, by the way, if you're on YouTube, hit that like, subscribe button, ring that bell, and all that fun stuff. Hit share, because we need more people watching us on YouTube.
Always.
I mean, hit that share button, honestly. But it is an individual market scenario, but they're trying to paint this picture with the headline and with everything going on that the market is in a huge, huge struggle.
Yeah, that is total clickbait.
Yeah.
Total clickbait. It is hyper local, and you're going to have to just pay attention to what's going on in your market, in your area. State, county, neighborhoods, city.
Yeah, I completely agree. And you've got to have to sit there and see what is the best thing for you financially.
Yes.
All right. First off, they're absolutely right. If you have any job risk at all, All right? Outside the norm. We all know, guess what? We could lose our job at any time. I mean, but I'm talking, most people expect to go to work the next day.
Yes.
There's no layoffs
Things
announcing
happen.
things. Yes. All right? But if you have a job situation, no, you should not be looking to buy housing. If you have, a problem, medically coming up or something, no, you probably shouldn't be looking to buy housing. All right? You need to focus on those aspects. But if there's nothing going on, you're paying somebody else's mortgage. Pay your own instead of someone else's.
Yeah. You reap the benefits.
And I'm a landlord. I get it. I understand. But still, I'd rather see them buying their own house than renting from me.
Yes.
Speaking of buying, if you're saving up to buy a home, your tax fund could be helping you accomplish this. Hence why this thing about the spring market, it is really the tax refund that really makes a big difference, honestly. Because that's usually closing costs, down payment help, everything right there.
It's a good chunk
Yep.
towards it.
Freddie Mac notes, your tax refund from the IRS can be a useful supply to your home buying budget. Absolutely. Take advantage of that.
Take advantage of all these buyers programs, and it's not just first-time buyers. Look at Will County. They've got great grants and all kinds of stuff for buyers.
The average individual tax refund last year, all right, was $3,050 in 2024. As of the last week of March for 2025, it was $3,170. Tax refunds are up 3.9% per IRS data.
Cool.
That's a good chunk.
Yeah, 3%.
I mean, Chris was here last week talking about the $25,000 that you can get from the county stuff, and you can stack that. That down payment can be stacked with another program.
Most of these programs can be stacked, so you can be utilizing 2, 3, 4, how many ever you qualify for. All kinds of programs out there.
And here's something that's not talked about enough. Okay, we know, okay, so you're saving for a down payment. You're looking to pay closing costs. All right, we get that. That's normal. What's not talked about is you can lower your mortgage rate. Buy down the rate. That is a viable option to save you money and get you into a lower payment.
Yeah.
I mean, how often have you seen someone buying down the rate lately?
Not as often as I think people could.
Or should explore that option.
Yeah.
It needs to be a viable option about buying down the rate. A viable conversation with your lender to see, okay, I really want to buy down this rate. How much am I spending? How much am I saving anything by doing the buy down?
Right. And that's really, you got to run the numbers.
Well, the bigger number you need to run is, how long do you plan on being in the house?
Exactly.
And how long do you need to be in the house for the rate buy down to be an effective savings tool? Because if you're only there 2 or 3 years, sometimes buying down the rate makes no sense. You're not saving any money.
Well, and kind of looking back and seeing where the rates are expected to go. Now, obviously, nobody has a crystal ball, but if they're talking about, things are stable and they're talking about rates coming down, how is that gonna affect your buy down? Do you wait? To do a buy down? You got to work the numbers. You just got to work.
You got to work the numbers. Yeah, and I don't.
Everybody's different.
I see rates coming down later this year, but I don't see them going under 6 at this point.
No.
And I don't see them going under 6 next year.
I had a lot of hope. Well, a lot can happen in a year.
True.
I had a lot of hope that we were going to get under 6 this year, but I'll be happy to get to 6 this year.
Yeah. I mean, honestly. But here's the thing. All this rate talk, guess what? Rates are still below the normal. You look at rates, I think 30 or 40 years average.
Yeah, historical average.
It's 7.2.
Yeah.
We're under 7.2.
Yeah. It's just that it's a hindrance because people refied and stuff when it was so low that it makes a difference. And as we get further out from that, it will make less of a difference.
I'm looking for... I got a text message 2 weeks ago from a lender.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I want to see. Let me see. I'm going to have
And...
Well, the rate was in the text message. All right. Scott from Fairway. Okay. This was sent on Saturday, April 19th.
Okay.
So it's just over a week, about a week and a half old.
Yeah.
All right. 30-year fixed, he had at 6.87. All right. FHA was 6.36.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, we're close to 6 on an FHA. And that's the thing. If you're looking to buy, you don't necessarily go FHA if it gives you a better interest rate.
Yeah.
There's no reason why you can't go FHA. Jumbo, 7.03. All right. He has a 6.7 ARM for 6.4. So FHA is cheaper than the ARM on a rate from a rate.
Isn't that crazy? That's what's crazy.
And VA, which is just amazing. VA is 6.38. All right.
Yeah.
Now these aren't Fairways rates. These are like the national average, and that was as of 4/17. Okay.
Yeah, and I don't know what they are today. Honestly.
So no, I don't. I didn't see rates.
I didn't.
I bet. I just knew I had that text in there.
Yeah.
From the 19th. So I mean, we're almost 2 weeks actually out from that.
Yeah. I was late getting up. I didn't check rates this morning.
Did you get your coffee this morning?
Yes, of course I did. I wouldn't be here if I didn't have coffee.
You seem like you had 3 cups of coffee, not 2 this morning.
I usually have a good half pot to get myself rolling.
A pot? Is that done IV wise, or do you actually drink it?
I love coffee. I could sit and sip coffee all day, and then when it's hot outside, I'll go get an iced coffee.
Yeah, see, no.
Yes.
I have, and I know it's horrible for me. It's soda.
Oh, terrible.
It's terrible.
Terrible.
I know. But I do love a good soda. So, and yes, I call it soda, okay? I grew up here, but I call it soda. Deal with it. I had a great-grandmother live down south. I don't know what to tell you. It's soda. So, we're going to be getting letters now, I'm just saying.
Oh, because you didn't call it pop?
I didn't call it pop. I called it soda. So, there's going to be letters written. So, I'm sure. Yeah, I think you look at buying down the rate, getting back into this. It is a viable option when it comes to what is going on in this market. All right, we did Will County last week. Do you want to do Grundy County, or would you rather do a town?
Let's do Grundy. I'm curious, because I haven't pulled Grundy County numbers in a while.
Everybody talks about affordability, and everybody talks about, we pay so much. Well, you pay to live close to the city of Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
And Grundy,
you pay for convenience.
You pay for the convenience. And Grundy County it gets you out that edge. So your average sales price is $299,838. Welcome to Grundy County. You are under $300,000 on the average. 5.4% increase year from last year. So that's great. I love that growth.
And they have a nice steady growth.
Yes. So your median sales price is $284. That's up 7.4%. So again, steady growth, normal numbers. We're looking good. The original list price is $298,000, up 6.4% on the median. On the average, you are looking at $335,732. That is up 8.3% on the average. Your market time average is 32 days. It's been pretty much 32 days since 2021. You go, or 2022. 22. Sorry. January of 2022. I saw the 1 in front of the 2022. it's been just bouncing around 34, 32, 33, 30. So we are down actually technically 3.3% from last year to 32 days on the market time on the average. Your median market time, you are looking at 11 days. That is up 10%. All right, it's 11 days on the market. You're fine.
Yeah.
All right, and this is the 12-month average on these numbers. Median last list price, they're getting 100% on the median compared to the last list. They're getting 99.5% of the list last price. Compared to the original list price, still 100% on the median. On the average, you're getting 98.6%. That is up 0.3%. So month supply.
Yeah, this will be interesting.
1.3 months supply.
Yeah, nothing. Nothing.
Home for sale. All right. At the end of March, there was 57 units in all of Grundy County. 57.
When I say nothing, I meant nothing.
And that is up from last year by 3.6%. Now keep in mind, 2019, because you hear us talk about it all the time. March of 2019,
in comparison,
there was 165 units for sale. We are far off from those numbers.
Yeah.
New listings are down actually in Grundy County, 3.9%. Under contract is down 8.9%, and closed sales is taking a moment is down 8.9%. And I have to be honest, that's I think going in with inventory.
Yeah, I think that has to do with the lack of inventory.
I mean,
it's kind of hard to close on something when it ain't there.
This is true. So showings to contracts on the average is 12 showings on the average, 9 showings on the median.
Yeah.
So you're getting good traffic. And again, comparing this to 2019, we have more showings on the median because it was 7 in 2019.
Mm-hmm.
All right? So you're getting more traffic than 2019. No, you are not getting more traffic. You are actually getting more traffic than 2021 and 2022. It was only 8. So there's more people looking for Grundy County.
Yeah.
So same
and less inventory out there. So
same on the average. It was 11 showings on the average to contract. So there's definitely more traffic, more things going on. All right. Showings per listing is also up compared to 2019. So you are getting 6.5 showings per listing. Yes, it is down 3.3% from last year. But it was 3.9 units or showings versus 6.5. March to March, 2019 March, all right?
As compared to 2025 March.
2025 March. Yep. Stop comparing this market with a COVID market. You got to go back and look at the pre-COVID market data. You cannot compare it to 2021 or 2022.
Yeah.
It just doesn't work. So, all right.
Interesting. It's a busy market.
So I have a question.
People are looking.
I have a question for you, Nancy.
I have an answer.
Does your current home fit your retirement plans? You know what? We're going to find that out after the break.
All right.
Keep it here with Get Real with Eddie.
Welcome to the Lions Club. Being a lion means knowing that kindness matters. We believe in changing the world by serving the needs of our local communities. More than 1.4 million lions around the world are responding to local and global challenges with kindness and care. Come volunteer with us. Your Lions journey starts here. The Crest Hill Lions Club invites you to reach out to your local Lions Club to learn about how you can be a part of a community and bringing passionate, kind-hearted people together to serve local needs. They build relationships that lead to opportunities. In short, when lions serve, life improves, and the community grows. Grow with us. The Crest Hill Lions Club would also like to thank our sponsors who help with our yearly events, such as the car show and picnic at St. Joe's Park, and those who attend and support our Easter egg hunts, Shanahan Bingo, and many more events. The Crest Hill Lions Club meets the first and third Thursdays at 6:30 p.m. For more information on being a lion, go to lionsclub.org to start your journey today. That's lionsclub.org.
And Get Real with Eddie. I want to bring to your attention the Herbert Trackman Planetarium at Joliet Junior College. My son loves this. They offer free shows on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 6 p.m. It's perfect for stargazers. The show provides excellent astronomical instruction and entertainment for no charge. That's right, it is free on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 6 p.m. The planetarium features a 30-foot diameter dome, a new OmniStar digital planetarium projector. During the shows, you can enjoy sky tours using the projector and PowerPoint presentations covering a wide range of astronomical topics. For more information, please visit jjc.edu/planetarium. And for you educators out there, they are open for field trip bookings. So go to jjc.edu/planetarium.
Are you ready to make your next move in real estate? Look no further than Exit Real Estate Specialists, your innovative leader in the industry. At Exit, we're not just about transactions. We're about building relationships and fulfilling dreams. Step into a community of empathetic, well-trained professionals dedicated to your success. Our Exit Real Estate professionals are more than just agents. They're your trusted advisors and allies in the journey of buying, selling, or investing in real estate. Whether you're selling your home or searching for your next investment, trust Exit to provide an excellent experience from start to finish. Our commitment to putting people first means you receive personalized attention and support, ensuring your real estate goals are met with success. Call us today at 815-823-5478 or visit exitrealestatespecialist.com to learn more. Exit Real Estate Specialists, exceeding your expectations every step of the way.
It's Get Real with Eddie, where everyone deserves the opportunity of home.
All right, Nance, I know it's been dabbling in the back of your head, but does your house really fit your retirement plans?
No,
But you guys just aren't ready to make that step yet.
not quite ready.
You like the pool. You like
What?
the huge yard.
Yes, we're still very comfortable where we're at. And the kids come over and grandkids come over and all that stuff. So we'll hang on to it a little bit longer.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as long term, no.
Ready, just about
I'm
ready
I'm ready now.
to dump the stairs.
John's not. Yeah, I'm ready, totally ready to dump the stairs.
The
I've
staircase.
had it with the stairs.
Have you really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I don't blame you.
Yeah. And just the whole, and keeping things up and, yeah.
I think I've told the story before, and I'm going to tell it again anyways. I still remember from when I had Guillain-Barré and I was paralyzed. And that first month and a half, I'm walking with a walker.
Mm-hmm.
And we're okay, so we're the first week back home.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm home like the first week. Jeanette is still on family leave. Mm-hmm. And because I'm a huge fall hazard, and she's keeping an eye on me, because if my knee went past 5 degrees, I was on the ground.
Yeah.
I only fell twice. Once was in therapy, and once was like it was literally the day before the last day I used the walker. I was starting to get brave, and I wasn't using it. And by 2 days later, I was pretty much fine.
Yeah.
But that first week, we're home, and I'm coming out with the walker and making my way to get to the couch, and she just looks at me and she goes, "You're glad we got a ranch now, aren't you?" You smart aleck.
Yeah. I'm telling you, some days I really wish we'd move.
I know, it makes complete sense. It really does.
But we still utilize a good portion of the house. I mean, you don't think two people could use 2,600 square feet, but we use
Oh
it.
my God, I could use another 500 square feet on my
I'm
house.
telling you.
I really
mean,
could.
And it's two of us most of the time, but then there's the grandkids, and they
Yep.
spend the night, or we have parties, or this and that. Yeah. And it's just,
So
we use the house.
Do the grandkids have their own room at Grandma's?
There
Or-
is a room that is like got its own. It's a toy room. It's got a crib. It's got a pull-out bed that's for overnighters.
For overnighters?
Yes, and then if the older ones come and they want a little more privacy, because we've got the teens, then they use my office, which is the big extra. We have a queen bed in there. It's like a suite back there, down there.
Look at that. That's huge.
So they get to use that.
So does your current home still make sense for lifestyle and budget you want that you want in your next life phase? This is especially important question right now. Just in the past 5 years, the cost of living has jumped 23%, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. That's based on the Consumer Price Index, which is how changes are tracked in the average price consumers and what they pay for goods and services. So that comes into play with this.
Oh, big time.
Because, if you're struggling on your budget, you may have a home that's just too big for you. You may want to look at downsizing faster and look at something that's maybe smaller, because you're going to save on your monthly budget, and that can make a big difference.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Well, you just, like you said, if you're ready to resize because you don't use as much of that house anymore, it makes sense.
yeah, one way that retirees are protecting their savings is by relocating, because your dollar goes further. So that's the other aspect too, is are you in a community that is a higher cost of living or a lower cost of living?
Yeah.
So you can look at that aspect. You see a lot of people moving to areas where the cost of living is a lot lower. Your utilities, your taxes, it's not just downsizing the size of the property. It's downsizing your expenses.
Well, but too, there is a certain quality of life with retirees, and budget is just a piece of it, because
Yes.
you want to be by family.
Yes.
So if you can swing it, chances are you're going to be closer to the grands and
Yes.
the family than not.
Than not. I agree. I agree with that. I mean, but there's just a whole balance there that you have to look at.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to figure it out.
Bankrate explains how much you should have saved for retirement depends on a few key factors, including your location, where you choose to spend your golden years is critical. So, I mean, and I don't think our cost of living here is outrageous. I
No.
mean, don't get me wrong. We are higher than some areas, all right, throughout the country, but we are nowhere near like a major metropolitan city
no.
cost of living aspect. And I get it. You could sell what you have here, maybe get $500,000, and then move somewhere and get some acreage for $500,000. It's
But the amenities you have here,
valid point.
we're
Library.
really in a good spot because we are so close to Chicago.
Yep.
Even like TV market. Have you ever been to it? I mean, we're spoiled.
Oh no, I have because my grandmother.
Yeah.
So I mean, we're talking the days before everybody cut the cord. We're talking the days before there was a cord.
Yeah.
So we'd go to the cabin, as we called it, which was a 4-bedroom house my grandmother had in Three Lakes, Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm.
All right. For those that don't know where Three Lakes, Wisconsin is, it is in what they call the northern woods. Mm-hmm. This is the upper half of Wisconsin. It is, back in the day, it was a 7-hour drive to get from here up there. And they cut about a half hour to an hour off of it when they put 39 up Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm.
And so the only channel they had, there was one channel they got in up there.
Yeah.
And it was Channel 5. It was NBC. So I wasn't Channel 5 up there, but it was NBC.
Yeah, NBC.
And that was it. And so it was always entertaining, because it was out of Rhinelander, to watch the news in the at night, because it wasn't
The production value was very low.
Yes, especially when you're talking the early 80s and 90s.
Yes.
It was nowhere. Now, the production value for a lot of those smaller stations has upped because technology has gotten cheaper. So yes, a lot of those smaller stations have great production value.
But it's still a small production, and we're spoiled being in Chicago in a major market like that, and their production value is reflective of that.
Well, and now you get into the aspects that, let's be honest, everybody's gone to internet-based stuff, and you got, and then I mean the big thing for Grandma is when she got the satellite dish up there, and I'm not talking the big old-fashioned dishes.
No.
If anybody remembers, I'm talking the little direct
the
TV,
little dish,
direct TV.
Yeah.
So it was that was a huge.
That's a big win.
That was a big, because you had.
It's a big win for Grandma.
You had more than one channel.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, we didn't care because Grandma lived down here most of the time.
Yeah.
And that was summer. That was where we went up for summer. That wasn't, and then we go up in winter sometimes too. They go snowmobile and stuff like that. I didn't spend a lot of winters up there.
Yeah.
But I know a lot of people from the Joliet and surrounding communities. Mm-hmm. They go into Three Lakes and they go into Eagle River. It's huge.
Popular.
Oh, very popular area for our area. So, and it's such. I've been to multiple countries in my lifetime. I have been to Hawaii. Beautiful, gorgeous, amazing. But Three Lakes, honestly, it is just as beautiful and just as gorgeous. It's just a different
in
type.
its own way.
Yeah. It's a
different type of beauty.
Beautiful.
Absolutely.
It is. And it was just an amazing time to spend up there. I want to take my kid up there and my wife. They've never been.
Oh, wow.
So
I'm surprised by that.
Because in Eagle River, they have, I kid you not, the most amazing fudge candy store, all right, in the whole entire world. And I've actually learned this because there's fudge, and then there's something called Mackinac Island fudge. Mm-hmm. Okay? Mm-hmm. So if you've had Mackinac Island fudge.
Yes. This
is the fudge that has to be made like on a marble countertop. Mm-hmm. But it's less oily and less greasy than regular fudge. And and anybody right now that's listening knows exactly what I'm talking about that has been up there in the Eagle River, because the fudge place is the best in the whole entire world. Hands down, there's no better place. There's a place in what's the big town in Wisconsin? The Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. There's a candy store. They do Mackinac Island fudge, and they're good. They're really good, but still, Ripley's in Eagle River is just hands down the best. So now I'm hungry.
There you go.
So, and I had breakfast this morning and everything too. So
I think it's time for another cup of coffee.
Oh, it always comes back to the coffee with you.
Oh, I just love coffee.
All right, so honestly, I think we really addressed. Look at your personal situation when it comes to retirement.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Grandma. They actually retired and lived up in Wisconsin for a couple of years.
Yeah.
And so I mean, that was where they retired. That was the game plan, and that's why they had it.
And you might want to snowbird, or you might want to. Or you might want to just sell everything and buy an RV and travel the country for a few years. I mean, people have all kinds of ideas of what they'd like to do.
Yeah, absolutely. I
say go for it.
You only live once.
I had a client who bought a farm. Just went down to Missouri and they bought a farm. And they started, and they have cattle now and stuff, and that's what they did for retirement.
That's awesome.
It's crazy. It's cool.
That's crazy. All right. When I get back from the break, 4 ways to make your offer stand out this spring. Keep it here with Get Real with Eddie.
It's Eddie Rudiger from Exit Real Estate Specialists. And Get Real with Eddie. I want to bring to your attention the Herbert Trackman Planetarium at Joliet Junior College. My son loves this. They offer free shows on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 6 p.m. It's perfect for stargazers. The show provides excellent astronomical instruction and entertainment for no charge. That's right, it is free on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 6 p.m. The planetarium features a 30-foot diameter dome, a new new OmniStar digital planetarium projector. During the shows, you can enjoy sky tours using the projector and PowerPoint presentations covering a wide range of astronomical topics. For more information, please visit jjc.edu/planetarium. And for you educators out there, they are open for field trip bookings. So go to jjc.edu/planetarium.
Lions Club. Being a lion means knowing that kindness matters. We believe in changing the world by serving the needs of our local communities. More than 1.4 million lions around the world are responding to local and global challenges with kindness and care. Come volunteer with us. Your Lions journey starts here. The Crest Hill Lions Club invites you to reach out to your local Lions Club to learn about how you can be a part of a community and bringing passionate, kind-hearted people together to serve local needs. They build relationships that lead to opportunities. In short, when lions serve, life improves, and the community grows. Grow with us. The Crest Hill Lions Club would also like to thank our sponsors who help with our yearly events, such as the car show and picnic at St. Joe's Park, and those who attend and support our Easter egg hunts, Shanahan Bingo, and many more events. The Crest Hill Lions Club meets the first and third Thursdays at 6:30 p.m. For more information on being a lion, go to lionsclub.org to start your journey today. That's lionsclub.org.
Are you ready to make your next move in real estate? Look no further than Exit Real Estate Specialists, your innovative leader in the industry. At Exit, we're not just about transactions. We're about building relationships and fulfilling dreams. Step into a community of empathetic, well-trained professionals dedicated to your success. Our Exit Real Estate professionals are more than just agents. They're your trusted advisors and allies in the journey of buying, selling, or investing in real estate. Whether you're selling your home or searching for your next investment, trust Exit to provide an excellent experience from start to finish. Our commitment to putting people first means you receive personalized attention and support, ensuring your real estate goals are met with success. Call us today at 815-823-5478 or visit exitrealestatespecialist.com to learn more. Exit Real Estate Specialists, exceeding your expectations every step of the way.
The face for radio, the heart for real estate. It's Get Real with Eddie.
How are your offers going? You had one that you were in there, right?
I was in there.
But it was contingent on the sale, but you were still in the offer, which that's saying a lot.
With multiple offers, yeah.
That's saying a lot that you had such a... And that's the thing. There are things you can do that will make your offer stand out.
Yes.
All right?
There are ways of crafting an offer. There are a lot of things you can put into an offer.
So NerdWallet says, all right, if you really want the property, you should avoid offending the seller. So be wary of placing so-called lowball offer. One of the most obvious risks of making a lowball offer is outright rejection. As a buyer, you need to find a balance point between making a fair offer and running the risk of losing the property.
We were just looking at numbers, right?
Yep.
And when the average home is selling for 100% of list, now's not the time to make a lowball offer. You've got to lean into your agent. They're telling you, you know what I mean? We're looking at numbers.
A lowball offer does not make sense in this market.
It just doesn't.
And most houses historically sell for 95% to 96% of asking price.
Yes.
So that whole wiggle room, if you're talking historically, you're talking 4%?
Maybe.
Of wiggle room? So, the house needs to be priced correctly. And that's what you're really checking. Was it priced correctly?
Yes.
And then after that, it's like, okay, what is going on with the property? All right? How long has it been on the market? Has there been any recent price reductions?
What are the disclosures looking like? Maybe they have a leaky basement. Maybe they have, you've got to keep those things in
Yeah.
mind when you're making an offer.
Are there any other, let's maybe not material defects, but things that may scare off another buyer? Pools.
Purple paint.
Paint,
Stains in the carpet.
pools. I think pools scare off a percentage of buyers.
Yes.
Power lines in the back scare off a percentage of buyers.
Mm-hmm.
Major roadways may scare off a percentage of buyers.
Yes.
These aren't material defects, but there's things that put a stagnant aspect to the property, a stigma to the property.
Yeah, stigma to the. Maybe you're on a steep hill.
Oh yeah, yeah. Especially if you're talking an icy day,
Yeah.
that could be a huge aspect.
Yeah.
So, consider an escalation clause. We've used these, like tons of times.
Tons of times.
Investopia explains an escalation clause is a way to automatically escalate your bid by a certain dollar amount up to a certain ceiling to compete with other bids. So, basically you have control of how you want to structure that escalation clause.
Right.
Do you want it to be, going up by $100, $1,000, $5,000? And up to what point? Are you going 10,000 over list, 20,000, 30,000, 50,000?
Yeah.
Are you not putting a amount on it?
Yeah. That's another thing.
Now keep in mind, as a seller, they don't have to take this just because it's the highest and best.
Well, it could be the highest, but it may not be the best offer for them.
Exactly. They want the highest. That's just because it's the highest offer doesn't make it the best offer.
Right.
I had a client recently. Property was disarray, and their biggest aspect was, they were looking at the ones that said, "No, we're just going to waive inspections. We're not doing inspections." That was their priority, because they did not want to deal with inspections.
Yeah.
Which makes sense when a
Yeah.
property's in disarray.
Yeah.
So they went a path of less money over the disarray, or not having to deal with the inspections. They did not want to open the can of worms.
And a lot of times with estate sales and things like that, it's as is. They're not entertaining repairs and all that stuff because there's a reason. It's an estate sale. They're getting rid of the property. So you've got to be aware of those things.
Be intentional about the concessions you ask for, which makes sense. The National Association of Realtors notes there are many factors up for discussion in a real estate transaction, from price to repairs to possession date. A real estate professional who's representing you will look at the transaction from your perspective, helping you negotiate a purchase agreement that meets your needs. And there's actually a lot. I just went through and said, because we had multiple offers on a property, and you have personal property, you have the price, you have the closing costs, you have the amount of earnest money you're putting down. Are you asking for a termite inspection? Are you asking for well and septic? Are you asking for the survey?
Taxes.
Tax prorations.
Yes.
There's a lot of factors and a lot of aspects that come into play.
You could offer to pay transfer stamps or a seller's attorney's fees. All kinds of things.
The seller's attorney's fees, I think, gets a little bit hairy in the aspect because I think there's something on the attorney that they have to take payment from their client. So, you're better off, instead of saying we're going to pay seller's attorney's fees, you could say, hey, we want to up our purchase price by this amount.
Yeah.
For the aspect of this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I don't think I think I could be wrong, and maybe I'd check with an attorney on that. But I don't think the attorney can take payment from the
buyer.
other. Yeah, because it's not their client. Technically, it's actually opposing clients. I don't know what the legal definition
The credit,
is.
well, of course they could just, it's a credit to the seller for that item.
Yeah. I don't know how you do a credit for the seller.
Because you're not paying them directly.
And not in the purchase price, though. That's another aspect, and I don't know how, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because the credit to the seller is the purchase price. So to say that, okay, here...
Additional credit to the seller.
Here's a purchase price. Oh, and by the way, here's an additional credit to the seller. I don't know how you would do that.
I've done a cash, and our attorney said it was okay.
Oh, it's okay. I got to think
as
of how
far
it would be
as
structured.
giving them, if you take our offer,
Yeah.
we'll give you an extra cash incentive.
Yes. Extra cash. Here's the cashes. I remember that deal because you had multiple offers on that one, and that was huge that you won that bid. It was a big, big battle on that one. So, finishing up, consider timeline that appeals to the seller, and that's the biggest aspect too.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised on the number of people that are looking at what their move date is and how to get it all timed out. Atlas Van Lines states everyone will have a unique timeline depending on the size of the move and the distance they are moving from or to. A personal preference. It's important to flex and adapt that timeline as needed while ensuring you allocate enough time for each step. And that's really key.
And it's amazing to me. Well, I guess not amazing to me, but it really does rank high in importance. A moving date, a close date, is super important.
It's really important for the sellers. So, all right, that wraps it up for Get Real with Eddie. Don't forget, check us out online on that amazing website, getrealwitheddie.com, talking about your largest investment 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. Getrealwitheddie.com.
Thanks for listening. Eddie Rudiger is the designated managing broker and owner of Exit Real Estate Specialists, located at 2750 Caton Farm Road, Joliet. License number 481014247. For questions, call Eddie at 815-823-5478.